Hello, today we're going to read Ready Freddy, A Very Crazy Christmas by Abby Klein, illustrated by John McKinley. This is an AR, and the AR number is 146261. I have a problem. A really, really big problem. My twin cousins, Kelly and Casey, are coming for Christmas, and whenever they're around, things get a little crazy. Let me tell you about it. Chapter 1. Happy Holidays! Have a great holiday, everyone, said our teacher, Mrs. Wushy, as we ran out the door. I raced out of school, jumped on the bus, and plopped down in my seat. My best friend, Ravi, sat down next to me. Now remember, in this book, I is Freddy. This is going to be the best Christmas ever, I said to Ravi. Why? Max butted in. Are you going to dance in the Nutcracker ballet? Then Max stood up and announced to the whole bus, guess what, everybody? Freddy is going to wear a tutu and dance in the Nutcracker. The whole bus started laughing and my face got hot. I sank down in my seat. Really? Said Chloe. I'm going to wear a tutu and dance in the Nutcracker. What color is your tutu, Freddy? Yeah, what color is your tutu, Freddy? Max said, imitating Chloe. I sank lower in my seat. I wish I could disappear, I whispered to Robbie. Just then, my other best friend, Jessie, looked right at Max and said, what is your color of your tutu, Max? For a minute, Max couldn't say anything. Then he stammered, I don't have a tutu. Yes, you do, said Jessie. It's pink and it has sparkles on it. The whole bus started laughing. Okay, this is Jessie pretending that Max is wearing the tutu. And that would be Max in the background. Max's cheeks got red and he quickly sat down in the seat. Thanks, Jessie, I said. Jessie was so brave. She was the only one brave enough to stand up to Max, the biggest bully in the whole first grade. No problem, said Jessie, giggling. Well, what's so funny? I asked. Oh, nothing, said Jessie. I'm just thinking of Max in a sparkly pink tutu. I bet he looks just like a little princess when he wears it. Robbie, Jessie, and I started laughing so hard I thought we were going to fall out of our seats. So, Freddy, said Robbie, you still haven't told us why this is going to be the best Christmas ever. I smiled a big white smile. Kelly and Casey are coming to visit, I said. Who? Asked Jessie. My twin cousins, Kelly and Casey. Papa Dave and Grammy Rose are coming, and they're bringing the twins with them. Why are they coming with your grandparents? Ravi asked. Well, their whole family was supposed to come, but my baby cousin Kenny got the chicken pox. So my aunt and uncle have to stay home with him, I said. At least they still get to come, said Robbie. Are they older or younger than you? Asked Jessie. Oh, they're older than me, but not as old as Susie, I said. You sound so excited, said Jessie. I can't wait. Things always get a little crazy when those two are around. My Christmas is going to be extra special too, said Jessie. My abuela, my grandma, says that this year I'm old enough to carry my own candle for Las Posadas. What? I said. Las Posadas, said Jessie. It's a Mexican Christmas celebration. Everybody lights candles and then walks around the streets. It's kind of like a parade. Oh, cool, I said. That sounds really beautiful. It is, Jessie said. And there's a picture of Jessie holding her candle. It's always my favorite part of Christmas. How about you? I asked Robbie. Do you get to do anything special this year? Yes, my mom says I can light the Canara this year. The what? I asked. The Canara. I've never heard of that, said Jessie. Well, my family doesn't celebrate Christmas, said Robbie. We celebrate Kwanzaa. The Canara is a candle holder that holds 7 candles. We light one each night to celebrate the harvest. Well, that sounds like the menorah that my family lights for Hanukkah, said Max. I didn't even know he was listening to us. It is a lot like a menorah, said Robbie. Do you want to know what my favorite part of Hanukkah is? Asked Max. And there he is lighting the menorah. Not really, I whispered to Robbie. It's when my mom makes potato pancakes. Oh, that sounds disgusting, said Chloe, wrinkling up her nose. Who makes pancakes out of potatoes? Well, for your information, little prissy princess, said Max, they are delicious. Well, that does sound good, said Jessie. It sounds like a giant hash brown. Well, that's exactly what they're like, and they taste really good with applesauce, Max said, licking his lips. You know, Chloe, said Jessie, you really shouldn't say something sounds disgusting if you've never tried it. Yeah, said Max. Said Chloe as she tossed her strawberry blonde curls and turned away. My favorite Christmas food is gingerbread cookies, I said, patting my stomach. Oh, I love those too, said Max. I like putting all the colors sprinkled on them, I said. Yeah, that's my favorite part too, said Max. Wow, something we have in common, I whispered to Robbie. I smiled at Max. I think he might have actually smiled back at me. But just then, the bus pulled up in front of my house. I jumped out of my seat. Goodbye, everybody, I called. Happy holidays. Goodbye, Freddy, said Robbie. Hope you have a great Christmas. Oh, I will. This is going to be a very crazy Christmas. Chapter 2. Jingle All the Way. That night at dinner, I was so excited I was bouncing in my seat. Freddy, please calm down, said my mom. You are going to fall out of your chair. Oh, I can't sit still, Mom. I am so excited about Christmas. This is going to be the best Christmas ever. I started to sway and sing, jingle bells, jingle all the way. It's going to be the worst Christmas ever if you keep singing, said my sister Susie, covering her ears. Susie, that's not very nice to say to your brother, said my dad. Well, he sounds like a sick goat in the manger, Susie said, laughing. I didn't care what she said tonight. I was in too good of a mood. I just kept singing and swaying. Jingle bells, Freddy smells, Susie sang. I ignored her and sang louder. Jingle all the way. But this time I swayed a little too hard and too far to one side and fell right off my chair. Whoops. Susie laughed. That was a good one, Freddy. My mom jumped out of her chair and ran over to me. Freddy, are you all right? I looked up at her from my spot on the floor, and then I popped up and ran over to Susie and sang right in her ear, Jingle bells, Susie smells. Susie stuck her tongue out at me. That's enough, you two, said my dad. This is the holidays, a time for peace and love. Freddy, go back to your seat. Papa and Grammy and your cousins are coming any minute, said my mom. Really? I said, I can't wait. Tomorrow we are going to take Kelly and Casey with us to get a Christmas tree, said my mom. At White Tree's farm, I interrupted. We get to chop down our own tree, right, Dad? I jumped out of my chair and pretended to swing an axe. Hi-ya! That's right, said my dad, laughing. But we are not ninja woodcutters. We will be using a little saw. Oh, I can do that, I said, sawing at the air. Hey, shark breath. We are not playing charades, said Susie. Sit down and let Mom finish. Sorry, Mom. I'm just so excited. I sat back down. I think I've almost got all the presents wrapped, said my mom. We had so many extra presents to wrap this year. Really? I said, extra presents? I leaned across the table. Did you hear that, Susie? We get extra presents this year. This really is going to be the best Christmas ever. I didn't say you get extra presents, said my mom. Oh, I mumbled. Yeah, ding dong, said Susie. The extra presents are for our guests, right, Mom? You mean Papa and Grammy and the twins? I asked. No, the Easter Bunny, said Susie. I didn't know that the Easter Bunny got Christmas presents. Freddy, are you for real? Of course she means Papa and Grammy and the twins, said Susie. I just know Kelly and Casey are going to love the presents that I picked out for them, I said. The presents you picked out, said Susie. I was the one who picked it out. No, I did. I did. I skipped over to her chair and bent down and whispered in her ear, I did. Susie jumped up and started chasing me around the table like we were playing Duck, Duck, Goose. As we were running, my dad stuck out his arms and grabbed us. We both froze. Listen, you two. We have a lot to do before Christmas. If you can't behave, maybe we'll just have to cancel Christmas. I stared at him. Did you just say cancel Christmas? Yes, I did. Well, you can't cancel Christmas. Our cousins are coming. And what about Santa? You just can't cancel Santa. Well, then, I think you should both sit down and listen to your mother. We ran back to our seats and sat down. You both helped pick out the present, and I'm sure your cousins are going to love it, my mom said. I know something else we have to do, Mom, said Susie. The cookies. Gingerbread cookies, I said, licking my lips. Of course we have to make gingerbread cookies, said my mom. It's a Thresher family tradition. I can taste them already, said my dad. Me too, I said. It wouldn't be Christmas without homemade gingerbread cookies, said my mom. Did you get the rainbow sprinkles? Asked Susie. How about the little candy buttons? And the raisins for eyes? I got it all, said my mom, laughing. I thought it would be fun to bake cookies when Grammy and your cousins were here. We heard the crunch of tires on snow. Then a car door slammed. Shh! I think they're here, said my dad. Woo-hoo! I said and pumped my fist into the air. The doorbell rang. They're here! They're here! Susie shouted, and she went running towards the door. I raced after her, smiling. Now things are going to get a little bit crazy, I said. Chapter 3. They're here. Susie threw open the front door, and Kelly and Casey burst into the house. Merry Christmas, everyone! They shouted. They grabbed Susie's hands, and the three of them started jumping up and down, squealing. Where's Freddy? Asked Casey. Here I am, I yelled. And before I could even say hello, they both ran over and tackled me to the ground. Merry Christmas, Freddy Spaghetti, they said. We are so glad you girls are here, my mom said. Thanks for inviting us, Aunt Debbie, they said. Hey, where is Papa and Grammy? I asked. Here we are, they said. We're just grabbing some things out of the car. I ran over to them and gave them a great big hug. I'm so glad you are both here, I said. I love it when you come for Christmas. And we love being with all of you, said Grammy Rose. And this Christmas will be extra special, because we brought your cousins along, said Papa Dave. Bringing Kelly and Casey is the best Christmas present ever, said Susie. The three girls all started squealing again, and there they are. Boy, am I glad I only have one daughter, my dad said, laughing. Let's put everybody's things away, and then we can all have some hot chocolate, said my mom. Freddy, would you please help Papa and Grammy take their things up to your room? My room? I didn't know they were staying in there. Where am I sleeping? I asked. In Susie's room with your cousins. I thought that might be fun. Yeah, said Kelly and Casey. It'll be like a big slumber party. Me and three girls. That should be interesting, I thought. Come on, guys, follow me, said Susie. I'll help you put your stuff in my room. Give me that bag, Papa, I said. I'll carry it up for you. This bag is really heavy, said Papa Dave. Maybe I should carry that one. Nope, I got it, Papa, I said as I grabbed the suitcase and started dragging it up the stairs. I didn't want to look like a wimp in front of my cousins. Wow, you're strong, said Kelly. Like Superman, said Casey. I smiled. When they had all put their suitcases away, we went down to the kitchen to drink hot chocolate. Here you go, girls, my mom said to the twins as she handed them each a mug. They both just stared at their cups. Is there something wrong? It's just that we're used to drinking hot chocolate with whipped cream and marshmallows, said Casey. No problem. Coming right up, said my mom. All you have to do is ask. All you have to do is ask, I thought. Whenever I ask, I'm usually allowed to have only one or the other, not both. Freddy, would you please get the whipped cream out of the refrigerator while I get the marshmallows? Sure thing, Mom, I said, licking my lips. I grabbed the can and handed it to Casey. Here you go, I said. Whipped cream is one of my favorite things in the whole world. Mine, too, said Casey. The next thing I knew, Casey popped the top and started spraying the whipped cream on my chin. Just then, my mom came back to the table with the marshmallows and saw the whipped cream on my face. Freddy, what are you doing? Yelled my mom. That is supposed to go on your hot chocolate, not on your face. I tried to say Casey did it, but my mouth was covered in whipped cream. Look, it's Santa, said Kelly, pointing at me. Ho, 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 I said. I'm Santa Claus. I turned to Susie. Have you been good, little girl? Kelly and Casey started giggling, and then Susie joined in. Pretty soon, everybody at the table started laughing. Usually, I get in big trouble when I play with my food, but this time, all my mom could do was laugh. Laugh. Oh, Freddy, you are so silly, she said. I stuck out my tongue and started to lick the whipped cream off my face. Yummy, I said. Freddy, said my mom, let me wipe that off your face, and then you can put some in your hot chocolate. My mom cleaned me up, and I squirted whipped cream into my cup. I started to drink, but Casey grabbed my arm. Wait. You forgot something, she said. I did? Yep, marshmallows. She grabbed a handful and threw them up in the air. Look, it's snowing, she giggled. A marshmallow landed in my hair. I picked it out and ate it. Yummy, I said and smiled at Casey. Freddy, please pick up those marshmallows, said my mom. Oh, they got all over the floor. I got down on the floor, picked up the marshmallow, and popped it into my mouth. Freddy, what are you doing? Asked my mom. You don't eat food off the floor. You're not a dog. Kelly and Casey patted my hair. I barked and pretended to wag my tail. All right, enough silliness for one night, said my mom. Let's clean this mess and drink up. We've got a busy day tomorrow. Well, what are we going to do? Casey asked. Well, we're going to the Christmas tree farm to cut down our own Christmas tree, I said, doing a little dance. Ooh, we've never done that before, said the twins. We can't wait. It's so much fun, said Susie. You're going to love it. Chapter 4. Wake up, Rudolph. The next morning, Kelly, Casey, and I decided to wake up Susie by playing Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer on kazoos they had brought. Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. We buzzed as we marched around Susie's sleeping bag. Susie jumped up. What's going on? She said. Kelly, Casey, and I all giggled. What's so funny? She asked. Nothing. We giggled some more. You guys are up to something, she said. I'll be right back. I have to go to the bathroom. She ran into the bathroom, and as she passed the mirror, she stopped and did a double take. The word Rudolph was written in red lipstick on her forehead, and Casey had colored her nose red. The girls went running into the bathroom laughing. We did it while you were sleeping, said Casey. Isn't it hilarious? Asked Kelly. Hey, Rudolph, I said. Where's Santa? Ha ha, very funny. Susie said. I can't go to the tree farm like this. I look like a weirdo. Besides, Freddy, you know Mom will kill us if she finds out you used her good red lipstick. She doesn't have to know, I said. What's it worth to you? Asked Susie, holding up her pinky for a pinky swear. And this is what she looked like. How about 2 pieces of candy from my stocking? I said. 2 pieces? Is that all? Asked Susie. You used Mom's favorite lipstick. Okay, 3 pieces. It's 5 or nothing, said Susie, pushing her pinky into my face. Is it a deal? Oh, all right, deal, I said, locking pinkies with Susie. I didn't really have a choice. It had been Kelly's and Casey's idea, but my mom was never going to believe that. And it was worth it, because Susie looked hilarious. Susie washed her face. Then we all got dressed and headed down to breakfast. Good morning, everyone, said my mom. How did you girls sleep? I slept great, Aunt Debbie, said Kelly. Me too, said Casey. Mom walked over to Susie and stared at her. Susie, you have a red mark on your nose. I gulped. Kelly, Casey, and I looked at one another. Then I mouthed to Susie, we have a deal. Oh, it's probably just red marker. We were all making Christmas cards this morning. I might have had some marker on my hand and then scratched my nose. Are you sure that's all it is? I'm fine, Mom. Really, Susie said. Well, okay. Come have some breakfast. We each breathed a sigh of relief. Eat up, everybody, said my dad. We've got to get going. Yeah, we have to get to the Christmas tree farm before all the best trees are gone, I said. Oh, there are plenty of nice trees to choose from, said my mom. Well, I don't want a nice tree. I want the perfect tree. Well, don't worry, Freddy. We'll help you find the perfect tree, said the twins. How about Papa and Grammy, asked Susie. Are they coming? They were a little tired from the trip, said Mom. They've decided to sleep in for a while this morning. We'll see them when we get back. Well, let's get a move on then, said my dad. Does everyone have their winter coats? Asked Mom. Yes, we all said. You also need a hat and mittens, said my mom. It's cold at the tree farm. Got them right here, I said, patting, I said, pointing to my favorite shark hat and mittens. The mittens were like shark heads with teeth. That's a picture of the mittens. See, they do look like sharks. These sharks are going to take a big bite out of that tree, I said, chomping at the air with my hand. Susie looked at me and made a cuckoo sign with her finger. My cousins laughed. All right, Shark Boy, let's go. We all hopped into the car. This is so cool, said Kelly. I can't wait, said Casey. I've never cut down my own Christmas tree before. It's a blast, said Susie. When we got to the White Tree Farm, Susie, the twins, and I jumped out of the car and started running towards the row of trees. Wait, my dad called. Come back. Why? I asked. We have to get the saw from that man over there. We ran over to the guy handing out the saws. One saw, please, I said. Well, I have to give the saw to an adult. This is not a toy. Is your mom and dad here? The man asked. Just then, my dad came running up. I'm right here. I'll be in charge of that, he said, taking the saw from the man. Thanks so much. Don't forget your sled, said the man. A sled, a sled, Casey and Kelly said. You didn't tell us we were going sledding. Well, the sled isn't for you, the man said, laughing. It's for the tree. Well, why would the tree need a sled? Asked Casey. Trees don't go sledding, said Kelly. That would be pretty funny to see a Christmas tree riding down a hill on a sled. Whee! No, 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 said the man. After you chop down the tree, you put it on the sled and drag it back to your car. It's much easier than carrying it back. Oh, I get it, said Kelly. Good idea, said Casey. Jump on, Freddy, said the twins. Since we don't have a tree right now, we'll give you a ride. I jumped onto the sled. They grabbed the rope handle and took off running. Chapter 5. The Perfect Tree. The twins were pulling me so fast that it felt like I was flying. I stuck my arms out to the sides. It's a car! It's a train! It's Superman! Then we hit a bump, and I went sailing off the sled and landed face first in the snow. My mom, my dad, and Susie ran over. Freddy, are you all right? They asked. I slowly lifted my head and spit out some snow that had gotten in my mouth. I think so, I said. That was awesome, said Kelly. And there he is after he landed on the snow. Yeah, that looked like a trick from the X Games, said Casey. I stood up slowly. You already broke your arm once, Freddy, said Mom. I really don't want to spend Christmas in the emergency room, so let's just use the sled for the tree. Okie dokie, Aunt Debbie, said Kelly. No more sled rides, said Casey. We left the sled with my mom and started running through the rows of trees. I ran along a few rows, and then, all of a sudden, I stopped in my tracks. There it was, right in front of me, the most perfect tree I'd ever seen. I jumped up and down and waved my arms in the air. Here, over here, I shouted. I found it! I found it! Kelly, Casey, and Susie ran over. You look like you have ants in your pants, said Casey. Why are you doing a crazy dance in the middle of the tree farm? Asked Kelly. You are such a goofball, said Susie. I found it, I said again. Found what? Asked my mom and dad, who had finally caught up to us. The perfect tree, I said, pointing to my right. Just look at it. There are no broken branches. It's perfectly round, and it's just the right size. Not too big, not too small. Like I said, it's perfect. Sounds like you want it to be your girlfriend, said Kelly. Or maybe since you love it so much, you should marry it, said Casey. Susie burst out laughing. Freddy should marry the tree. That's a good one, Casey. It is a pretty tree, said my mom. Can we chop it down? I asked. Chop it, chop it, the twins chanted as they karate chopped the air. Do we all agree that this is the tree we want? Asked my dad. We all nodded. Then here we go. My dad bent down and started sawing the trunk of the tree. Hey, look, I'm a tree, said Casey, standing perfectly still. Freddy, pretend you're chopping me down. I ran over and pretended to saw her legs. Timber, she yelled, and fell over in the snow. Ha ha ha, that looks fun, said Kelly. Chop me down, Freddy. I pretended to saw her legs, and she fell down too. My turn, I said. Casey chopped me, and I toppled over. Watch out, yelled my dad. Here comes the real thing. Timber, we all shouted, and the tree hit the ground with a thud. Let's load it into the sled, said my dad. Come on, everybody, said my mom. Grab a piece of the tree. 1, 2, 3, lift. We all picked up the tree and put it on the sled. Come on, little tree, time for a ride, Kelly said. The twins pulled the sled, and Susie and I pushed from the back. Great teamwork, everyone, said my dad when we got to the car. I just have to tie it to the roof. We returned the sled and saw and paid for the treat. The man gave us each a candy cane. Merry Christmas, he said. Merry Christmas, we yelled out the car window. Can I borrow your candy cane for a minute? Kelly asked her sister. Casey handed it to her. Kelly stuck the end of hers and Casey's into her mouth. Look at me, I'm a walrus, she said. Susie and I laughed. Ew, now it's got your cooties all over it, said Casey. Give it back. Her sister handed it back, and Casey held it up to her forehead. Look at me, I'm a unicorn. I have an idea, said Susie. Freddy, give me yours for a minute. I gave mine to Susie, and she held it in hers at the top of her head. Guess who I am, she said. We stared at her for a minute. I'll give you a hint, said Susie, patting her nose. Rudolph the red-nosed reindeer, we all said. Had a very shiny nose, my mom sang. We all looked at each other and burst out laughing. What's so funny? Asked my mom. Oh, nothing, we said and giggled some more. When we got home, Papa and Granny were waiting for us. I found the perfect tree, I shouted. Wait until you see it. My dad untied the tree from the roof of the car, and we all helped him to carry it into the house. Great job, kids, said my dad. We just have to get it in the tree stand over there. We set the tree in the tree stand and stood back. Now that is a beautiful tree, said Papa. It looks perfect to me, Freddy, said Grammy. Slowly, the tree started to lean to one side. Then it started falling towards the coffee table at full speed. I ran over and caught it just in time before it hit the table. Uh-oh. Wow! Great catch, Freddy, said Papa. That would have been a real disaster, said Grammy. You saved the day, said Kelly. Superman to the rescue, said Casey. I held up both my arms to show my muscles. Susie rolled her eyes. Oh, please, she said. We put the tree back in the stand and tightened it. That should hold now, said my dad. Sit, little tree. Stay, said Casey, pointing to it. What are you doing? I asked. Getting the tree to stay. But the tree isn't a dog. Oh, I know, but it works on our dogs, Mike and Ike, so I thought it might work on the tree too, said Casey. We all looked at her and started laughing. Come on, all of you crazy kids, said my mom. Time for lunch. All right, Chapter 6. What's that smell? After lunch, it was time to make gingerbread cookies. Oh, I love gingerbread cookies, said Casey, licking her lips. They're my favorite too, I said. And wait until you taste them. They are the best gingerbread cookies in the world. My mom and Grammy laughed. That's because they are made from Grammy's secret recipe, said my mom. Well, what makes them so yummy? I asked. If I told you, then it wouldn't be a secret, now would it? Grammy said, smiling. But it is a family tradition to make Grammy's gingerbread cookies every Christmas, said my mom. We're so glad you girls are here this year to make them with us. We eat a bunch and leave some for Santa, I said. I made the dough while you were at the tree farm this morning, said Grammy. All we have to do now is roll it out and cut the cookie with the cutters and decorate. I love to use the rolling pin. Can I help you roll it out, Grammy? Asked Kelly. Sure, let me put some flour down on the counter so the dough doesn't stick. Grammy sprinkled the flour on the counter, and Kelly started to roll out the dough. My mom turned on the oven so that it would heat up. Quietly, Casey grabbed the flour sack and stuck her hand inside. What are you doing? I whispered. Just watch, she whispered back. She took a handful of flour and sprinkled it in her hair. Then, in a voice that sounded just like Grammy's, she said, I hope you like my secret recipe. My mom turned around and her mouth fell open. She is a neat freak, and my cousin had flour in her hair, and it was sprinkled all over the floor by her feet. I was trying not to laugh. My mom ran over to the table. Casey, what are you doing? She asked. I'm Grammy Rose. See my gray hair? Casey said, pointing to the flower in her hair. I see, said my mom, trying to stay calm. Why don't you come over to the sink and we'll shake that flour out of your hair? Susie, would you please grab the broom and sweep up all the flour off the floor? We got everything cleaned up while Grammy helped Kelly finish rolling out the dough. All righty, said Grammy. The dough is all ready. She gave us each a piece. Kelly grabbed a reindeer cookie cutter. I think I'll make Rudolph, she said, smiling. I'll stick one of these red candies at the end of his nose. What do you think? I giggled. I think it looks just like Susie, I whispered. I'm going to make a pair of twin gingerbread girl cookies, said Susie. Just like Kelly and Casey. Oh, that's a cute idea, said Grammy. Grammy turned to Casey. And what are you making, sweetie? A girl? A boy? Santa? Casey laughed. Nope. I'm making a gingerbread alien. A gingerbread alien, I said. That's so cool. See, said Casey. It's got 2 antennae, and I made 3 eyes out of the green gumdrops. It looks like one of the aliens from the Commander Upchuck episode I watched last week. I watch that show every week, too. That's where I got the idea, said Casey. My mom started sniffing the air. Sniff, sniff, sniff. I smell something funny, she said. I smell it too, said Grammy. It smells kind of like burning rubber. I think it's coming from over here, my mom said as she walked toward the oven. She opened the oven door and a huge cloud of black smoke poured out. The fire alarm started to go off. Beep, 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 beep. My dad ran into the kitchen. What's going on in here? I don't know, said my mom. Something's burning in the oven. Maybe it's the cookies, said my dad. We haven't put any in yet. My dad put on some oven mitts and ran over to the oven. He fanned the smoke out of the way so he could see inside. Then he reached in and carefully pulled something out. What is it? Asked my mom. Boots, said my dad. Boots? Yep, snow boots. What in the world? Said Grammy. Oops, Kelly whispered. We all turned and looked at her. Kelly, do these belong to you? Asked my dad. She nodded. What were they doing in the oven? She asked my mom. I'm so sorry, Aunt Debbie. When we got home from the tree farm, my boots were soaked. I thought if I put them in the oven, they might dry quicker, but I forgot all about them. I thought my mom was going to explode. I could tell that my wacky cousins were driving her just a little crazy. I'm really, really sorry, Aunt Debbie. My mom took a few deep breaths. Things are always exciting with you two around, she said to my cousins. Let's just clean out the oven, and then we can bake the cookies. Good idea, Mom, I said. We need to leave a plate of cookies for Santa, not a plate of boots. Chapter 7. Reindeer Food. Hey, why don't we decorate the Christmas tree while the cookies are baking, I said. Great idea, Freddy, said the twins. We ran into the living room. I'm going to turn on some Christmas music, said Susie. I love listening to Christmas songs when we trim the tree. Where are the ornaments? Asked Casey. They're all right here in this big box, I said. Help yourself. You can hang them anywhere you want, said Susie. Look at this one, said Kelly. It looks like a snowman made out of marshmallows. Maybe it's Frosty the Snowman, I said. Just then, the Frosty song started playing, and we all started to sing. Frosty the Snowman was a jolly, happy soul. Uh-oh. Casey grabbed 3 round ornaments out of the box and started to juggle them. I giggled. You look like you're one of the clowns in the circus, I said. Where did you learn to do that? My dad taught me, she said. Well, maybe sometime I can come visit and he can teach me too. I said, sure, said Casey, and I can show you my marshmallow shooter. No way! You have one of those? I've always wanted one. Kelly picked up another ornament. It was a frame with a picture of me as a baby. Oh, look how cute little Freddy Spaghetti was when he was an itty-bitty baby. He was a little baldy, said Casey, with just a little fuzz on top. And look at those chubby cheeks, said Grammy. You were so adorable. Now look at you, said Susie, laughing. What happened? I glared at her. I think Freddy is just as adorable today as he was when he was a baby, said Grammy, and she gave me a big kiss on the cheek. Thanks, Grammy, I said. We put some more ornaments on the tree, and then my mom walked into the room. Where's the star? She asked. Right here, said Kelly, pointing to herself. She started to do a little tap dance. I meant the star that goes on the top of the tree, my mom said, laughing. It's right here, said Susie. I was just unwrapping it. Be very careful, said my mom. I don't want it to break. Can I put it on this year? I asked. Pretty please, with a cherry on top. That's not fair, said Susie. I want to. Well, I asked first. But I'm the one holding it, said Susie. Freddy, Susie, no fighting, said my dad. Well, I have an idea, said my mom. How about we have one of our guests do it? Good idea, said my dad. Kelly, Casey, wait a minute. Where's Casey? Has anyone seen Casey? Asked my dad. We looked around. She wasn't in the room. Well, where could she be? Asked Grammy. I'll go look for her, said my mom. We'll come too, we all said. I bet she went upstairs to get something from your room, Susie, said my mom. Let's check there first. We walked down the hall and started up the stairs. Something crunched under our feet. I think I just stepped on something, said Susie. Me too, I said. My mom bent down and picked something up off the carpet. What is it? I asked. My mom smelled it. I think it's granola, she said. Granola? Why would there be granola on the stairs? I wondered the same thing myself. There was a trail of granola that went all the way up the stairs and into Susie's bedroom. Excuse me. When we got to the bedroom, we found Casey sprinkling the rest of the box all over Susie's room. Hi, everybody, Casey said. Oh, boy, I thought. This is not going to be good. My mom never lets us bring up food to our rooms. She thinks it will leave crumbs. Then we will get ants. And she hates ants. My mom just stood there with her mouth hanging open. She couldn't talk. Nothing came out. Finally, she started to speak. What are you doing, Casey? She asked. I'm leaving food for the reindeer. For the what? Said my mom. For Santa's reindeer. Every year we put granola on the front lawn so that the reindeer can have a little snack. But I never get to see them when they are outside. I thought if I sprinkled some in the house, they might come in. And there's what she's thinking. And follow the trail right up to Susie's room, and then I might get to see Rudolph. My mom just shook her head. Where do you girls come up with these ideas? Our own heads, they said together. You two are quite a pair, she said. Quite a pair. Chapter 8, Christmas Morning. When I woke up on Christmas morning, I looked in my cousin's sleeping bags. But they weren't there. Hey, Susie, I said. Where are Kelly and Casey? In their sleeping bags, she said. No, they're not. Susie sat up. What do you mean? I mean, they're not there. See for yourself. Susie got up and walked over to their sleeping bag. Well, where could they be? Shh, I said. I think I hear a noise coming from downstairs. Susie and I raced downstairs to the living room. There were Kelly and Casey asleep behind the Christmas tree, snoring like two little grizzly bears in winter. I shook them to wake them up. What are you guys doing down here? I asked. They rubbed their eyes. We came downstairs last night because we wanted to see Santa, said Kelly. But we didn't want him to see us, so we hid behind the Christmas tree, said Casey. Well, did you see him? I asked. Does he really have a big white beard? And does his belly jiggle like a bowl full of jelly when he laughs? The twins frowned. He must have fallen asleep before he came, said Kelly. We didn't get to see him, said Casey. Bummer. Well, we can try again next year, said Kelly. Good idea, said Casey. Just then, my parents and Papa and Grammy came downstairs. Merry Christmas, kids, said Papa. Merry Christmas, Papa, we all said. You kids are up bright and early, said Grammy. It's Christmas morning, I said. Kids always get up bright and early on Christmas morning. Well, it looks like Santa was here, said my dad. There isn't even enough room under the tree for all the presents. Can we open our presents? Can we, Dad? Can we? I said. Presents, presents, the twins chanted. Let me just get the video camera ready, and then you can start unwrapping. Can we open Kelly and Casey's presents first? I asked. Sure, said my mom. I'm all set, said my dad. Let's go for it. Here, Freddy, this one is from us, said the twins, handing me a gift. I ripped open the paper. Yes, I exclaimed, an ant farm. I've always wanted one of these. Did you say ant farm? Asked my mom. Yep, with real life ants. Fabulous, my mom said, shaking her head. Here, Susie, we picked this one out just for you, said the twins. Susie unwrapped the package. Ooh, a sassy doll. I love these. Thanks, you guys. It's the fashion one, said Kelly. You can change the outfits. You can also do the hair and makeup, said Casey. Those are very thoughtful gifts, said Grammy. Now it's your turn, I said to the twins, handing them each a package. We hope you like them, said Susie. The girls unwrapped their packages at the same time. Wow, a baton, said Casey. With rainbow sparkles, said Kelly. We're taking a new dance class, and we're learning how to do batons, said Casey. Do you want to see? Asked Kelly. Before Mom could say no, Casey and Kelly threw their batons up in the air. Kelly caught hers, but Casey's baton sailed over our heads and flew towards the Christmas tree. Oh no, my mom yelled. The baton hit the top branch and knocked the star off the tree. My mom covered her eyes. Oh no. I got it, I yelled. I made a diving catch before the star hit the ground. Wow, Freddy, that was some catch, said Papa. You should be an outfielder. And I caught it all on camera, my dad said, smiling. Whew, he caught the star. Well, this has been a very crazy Christmas, said my mom. You can say that again, I said, laughing. You girls are definitely one of a kind, my mom said. Kelly and Casey put their arms around each other. Actually, we're two of a kind, they said. Merry Christmas, everyone, said Papa. Merry Christmas. Dear reader, I just love the holidays. We spend Christmas with grandparents and cousins, just like Freddy's family. Our family has some holiday traditions too. We go to the White Trees farm and cut down our own Christmas tree. When we bring it home, it makes the whole house smell like Christmas. We make homemade gingerbread cookies and decorate them. We usually end up eating most of them on Christmas Eve, but we always save a few for Santa. We sprinkle granola on the front lawn for Santa's reindeer. They must get hungry doing all that flying. I hope you have as much fun reading A Very Crazy Christmas as I had writing it. Happy holidays and happy reading, Abby Klein. The end. And so that is the end of Ready Freddy, A Very Crazy Christmas by Abby Klein and illustrated by John McKinley. Remember, this is an AR, so if your school participates in AR, the AR number is 146261. Thanks for listening. Bye.